Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, and this is Working Man Reads. For those of you who don't know, I read a lot of horror, sci-fi, fantasy around here, and I do review books for indie and small press. This was a personal purchase of mine. I will be reviewing Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. A lot of hype around this book, and it is selling like hotcakes. I seen the posts and all that, so I was like, hey, let's go read it. It's number one in like 3 categories on Amazon. So I do want to congratulate the author and Weird Punk Books. Outstanding sales on this book, and it's pretty cool that I did read Eric Larocca's Macabre Collection, his 2 stories that he released earlier on in the year, and I freaking loved it. I love his writing style. It's unfortunate that I didn't like this one, and then I wasn't gonna do a video review of it because he is a nice guy, and I did talk to him in the past, and I didn't mean to offend anybody, but this is my personal opinion, and every review I ever write is just because I like reading books. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to kiss anybody's ass. So I will say that I did not care for this book. I will read my Goodreads review for you. And then at the end, I do want to have a spoilery chat so I can better explain myself on what I did not care for in this book. Overall, I gave it 2 stars. Here we go. So, and no, not throwing shade at anybody that enjoyed this book, because it is well loved. I mean, right now it has a 3.73 reviews on Goodreads, so it's doing well. So let's get into my review. My title is, what in the body horror version of 50 Shades of Grey did I just read? That's pretty accurate. The body horror sections of the story, I was like, that's pretty cool. But the 50 Shades of Grey elements were like this clunky, non-realistic contract. There was even a contract that was signed for the characters to be in a relationship where one is dominant and one is not. And it was very 50 Shades of Grey, which, I mean, I guess if I had known going in, it is what it is. But it is also written in, let's just read my review. So, plot, I gave 2 stars. The story is written in epistolary form, which is, I had to actually look it up. I didn't know what the hell that meant. But it is basically in a chat format. So it's going through like emails and then instant messenger, IM, as we used to call it back in the day. It takes place in the early 2000s. That aspect was interesting because I grew up on the instant messenger. After all, I was born in 93, so I thought that was interesting. I also enjoyed the LGBT representation. That being said, the romance between the 2 main characters, I think it's Angie's, it's Agnes, and Zoe are the 2 characters that you deal with, seemed ridiculous and over the top. In the beginning, one of them is reaching out to the other because they're selling an apple peeler. That's how the story begins, is that the character is trying to purchase an expensive apple peeler. And the conversation ensues, and basically a relationship poofs out of thin air because of common things that they talk about. It just didn't make sense. So I couldn't help but wonder if the lesbian couple would communicate, if a real lesbian couple would communicate like this in real life. I have a few friends that are lesbians, and I kind of wish that they would read this so I could talk to them about it, because it just didn't seem real to me. It didn't, like, you don't have to talk like that. I get that it's fiction, but he's such a good writer that it just didn't come off like he wrote it. I know he wrote it, but it was like very off the wall. So all right, at one point they entered a contract, so I got into that, and then the ending is like very absurd and just like cringy. Like, what are you doing, bro? So I'll definitely mention that in the spoiler talk. Horror, I gave it 2 stars. Has a lot of body horror, which is cool. There's like some dreams and like religious type stuff. I think that there was one scene that sticks in my head that was pretty good horror, where I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, that's crazy. That was pretty scary. And then other than that, it was like stupid stuff that just didn't really land for me. I also found that it was really hard to deliver the true horror and the tense elements that I look for in horror with the epistolary style, where it's broken up into individual little. It's just like dialogue 24/7. So. Writing, I gave 3 stars. And I felt that it was strange to give Eric 3 stars. But I do have to say that he is better in long form, where it's paragraphs, a normal style book. I get that he's trying something new. Cool. It might land for other people, and it didn't for me. I still took highlights and still took notes of lines that Eric said that are not being done by other people in the horror genre. I do think that he is a fantastic writer. Do I think he will read or write better stuff in the future? Yes. I don't think he likes me after this review, but it is what it is. I have to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and kiss everybody's butt. He's a nice guy, but it is what it is. You know what I mean, bro? I'm sorry. I'm just going to, this is my channel, dude. I'm going to review how I want to review. So, sorry, dude. Yeah, so I just didn't think that it lended itself to really show Eric's immaculate writing abilities. I mean, dude is obviously talented. So I did. There was really cool. I'm gonna pull up my highlights. Here, let's do that right now, just so you guys can know. This is gonna be a long review because it's a little ranty, but so all right. So here you go. Once I read somewhere that if your mind continuously returns to the same person over and over again, it means that they're thinking about you as well. And then they would belong to me, and in return, I would take care of them the way a mother nurtures a child. One of the characters basically wants the other character to call her mommy. It's fucking weird. Which is cool. I mean, I guess that's horror right there. It was just weird, but it didn't make sense. It's not that I felt empty. I think all of us feel empty most of the times, and we merely pretend to fill the vacuum with laughter, crying, apologies, anything to make us feel human. So it just goes on. I mean, I do respect the guy's writing, and he is a good writer. So take that how you will. It's probably worth reading. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, you can read it for yourself. Premise and characters, I gave 1 star. The characters were over the top and silly. The relationship was not believable in my opinion. I'm repeating myself at this point. The entire premise of one character's wanting to have a child and then the ensuing plotline that leads to the end is utterly strange and not delivered well. I really can't elaborate in this, and I will in the end here, but final overall, I gave 2 stars. Damn, I cannot believe I am going to give an Eric Larocca's novella 2 stars, but I am. It was not my favorite story. I think that it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, it is what it is. I mean, there's 1,100 ratings, 389 written reviews, and I am a 2 star. So it is what it is. At this point, that concludes my review. I think the synopsis is pretty much covered in what I've already talked about. I hope everyone has a great 4th of July weekend. Eric, if you're watching this, buddy, I'm sorry, man. I probably should have reached out before I reviewed it. It wasn't given to me for a review, which is fine. I don't really give a shit. But I bought it myself, and I just chose to read it. And, I don't go out of my way to bash authors. I've never done that. And I don't think I did in my review, but it is what it is, guys. So I'm going to get into some spoilers here and just kind of give you more of my thought process. So 3, 2, 1. So, where we start entering this contract where it becomes 50 Shades of Grey, one of the first tasks that the other person... so, this is all my opinion, but this is more of an elaborate... or I'm going to elaborate on what I didn't care for. So, the 50 Shades of Grey situations where they enter a contract, one of the first tasks the one girl is given is to leave her underwear in the stall at work and then sneak out under the door or whatever, and she basically gets caught and fired. It's just like stupid stuff. Like, just why would you even agree to this? There's so much. The girl is made to sleep with her clothes off with the air conditioner on full blast. She decides, the one girl, I believe it's Zoe, decides that she wants a kid, or it's Angie's, whatever, that she wants a kid, and then basically the way that the person is going to have a kid, which is not really a kid, is that she leaves meat outside for a certain amount of time, and then bugs get in it, and then she consumes it, and she just keeps trying to eat like rotted food so that she can have a baby, but it's just ends up being like a tapeworm. And then at the end, this is just, it sounds, I can't even believe, this is why I had to refilm, but I'm not refilming again. It sounds ridiculous coming out of my mouth. It's like funny, and it's comedic to me, and I don't understand why. Just market it as a comedy. If he marketed it as a comedy, this would be a 4-star read for me, because it's funny to me, and it's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be a serious story about an LGBT relationship online, and it's comical, and I don't know how else to put it. But the tapeworm finally comes out, and then the main character is cradling it and treating it like it's a baby, and says that she can hear it. And I'm just like, bro, like, nah, dude, this needs to end. So it's over with. I read it. I'm glad I supported the author and the publishing house. Respect to them. They're in Barnes and Noble, and they're doing well. So shout out to them. I appreciate everybody that's watched. I appreciate everybody that liked this book. Good for them. I respect it. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, America.